prepare to race onto the field. Everything is riding on this football game. So there's a special intensity, a special urgency. Here come the Volunteers. Wherever you listen throughout the world, it's football time in Tennessee.
What's up, guys? Dane Davis here. Shout out to Boogie Bentley Dauber and the Indie Kid over at Talkin VAWLS Network on YouTube. VAWLS fans, head over to their YouTube channel, Talkin VAWLS Network. Smash that like button and subscribe, baby. Go Big Orange.
Welcome to the Talkin VAWLS Network. My name is Boogie Bentley, and we are just a few days away from Tennessee taking on Pitt inside of Neyland Stadium for the Johnny Majors Classic. It's a game that we've all had circled on the calendar, going all the way back to spring, all the way through fall camp. This is the game where we feel like we are going to learn a little something about the Tennessee Volunteers. We're going to learn just who Josh Heupel in this football program is. They're going to be put to the test. Most of you guys already know Pitt is the favorite going into that game. They're favored by 3 points. I did drop the preview for that game, the scouting report for Pitt. I dropped that yesterday. I encourage you to go and check that out. But if you just so happen to be heading down to Neyland Stadium, if you're going to be in Knoxville for the game, I want to challenge you guys. I want to give you a little bulletin board material. This is a quote from Pitt head coach Pat Narduzzi. He was asked about the environment and the noise that's going to be inside of Neyland Stadium. And his quote is, "Anytime we've had a noisy game for our offense, our guys have stepped up and done a nice job. They'll be prepared for it. Should not be an issue." Well, if you're going to be inside of Neyland Stadium, I hope you bring your A game. I hope you give your all for Tennessee. And let's go ahead and show Pitt head coach Pat Narduzzi exactly what a hostile environment is. But we're going to get into it. We're going to talk about some grades coming out of the Bowling Green game, because a lot of times we talk about what looked good, what looked bad, especially in the post-game shows. I like to go and get the PFF grades coming out of that game. Some interesting stuff that we're going to look at coming up next. But I asked that you do me 3 things real quick. Go ahead, smash that like button just below the video. Helps the channel, helps the algorithm, all that good stuff. Also, if you're new, make sure you go ahead and subscribe. Click that bell for notifications. You won't miss out when we go live. And when we drop new content, we'll be live tonight, Tuesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern time. We're going to be breaking down the Pitt game, talking about the quarterback situation and more. So I hope you'll tune in for that, but we'll get rolling here in just 1 second. You guys want to get an advantage over your sports book? You need to head over to the App Store or the Google Play Store. Download BetQL, the only app you need to make smart bets. Their computer model scans over 350,000 unique bets per year to give you the best bet recommendation for every game across all major sports. Also gives you the reasoning behind why you should place that bet. Their model covers everything from spreads to over-unders and player prop bets. But I know how some of you guys are. You don't always listen. You want to play armchair quarterback, and that's fine. If you want to do the work yourself, BetQL has all the necessary tools for your research needs. Sharp data so you can see who the pros are backing, line movements, you can jump on betting opportunities in real time. They've also got great team summaries highlighting previous success against the spread and the over-under. So go to try.betql.co/Vols to get started now. Going to drop all the links in the description below, but if you use that promo code VOLS at checkout, you're going to save 25% on all subscription offerings. They also have a deal where you can get an entire year of BetQL for free. So jump in the description below. Check that out, BetQL. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into it here. This is an article from RockyTopInsider.com from Ryan Shumpert. And again, this is the PFF grades for Bowling Green. The article says Tennessee opened up the 2021 season with a 38-6 victory over Bowling Green. Each week we'll share how the Vols graded out according to Pro Football Focus. Now, if you don't know how that works, again, what they're doing is they're not just going by what's on screen. A lot of times we see Joe Milton standing back in the pocket for 3, 4, 5 seconds, not releasing the ball. Sometimes you can see he missed an open receiver. Sometimes the wide receivers are not able to get separation. So it is breaking down the film and giving a plus or a minus for every play. You can see here it says each game players are graded on a scale of 1 to 100. 90 to 100 is an elite grade. 85 to 89 all conference. 70 to 84 starter. 60 to 69 backup, and everything under 60 is replaceable. So the main thing I want to focus on is the defense, but we'll go through some offensive grade here and just make a few points. When you look at who graded out the highest, that would be the running back Tyon Evans. No surprise, graded out at 86.6. Again, no surprise. Just continue to look. Who grades out the best? You're seeing offensive linemen and the running backs, both running backs. Two of the top three grades go to Tyon Evans and Jabari Small. Really no surprise there. But then when you start to go down here and look, all right, let's talk about the passing game, the lack of the passing game. We all know Joe Milton wasn't good enough against Bowling Green. If Tennessee is going to have a chance this Saturday against Pitt, Joe Milton is going to have to up his game. But it's not just Joe Milton. It goes across the board. Joe Milton actually graded out at a 63. Well, where are his wide receivers, guys? Where are they? Because they didn't deliver either. It is the passing game across the board. Joe Milton actually graded out better than the wide receivers. Cedric Tillman comes in with a 60.2. Jalen Hyatt with a 57.1. Velus Jones, 56. Javante Payton, 54. The passing game in general is not good enough. Wide receivers cannot afford to drop balls. Wide receivers cannot afford to run the wrong routes. It happened. It happened last Thursday against Bowling Green. And then on the flip side of that, Joe Milton has got to keep his eyes up. He's got to keep his eyes downfield. Sometimes I felt like he did a good job at that. Other times he struggled. If you listen to Josh Heupel when he met with the media yesterday, I like how he brings up correctable mistakes. He doesn't seem to be concerned with Joe Milton. He seems to feel like he is going to be able to fix Joe Milton. Correctable mistakes. A lot of times last season we heard Cornbread talk about Jarrett Garantano. All he said is he needs to play better, as if Jeremy Pruitt has no idea to fix what's going wrong. But Josh Heupel talks about footwork, talks about his reads. He talks about things in detail that Joe Milton can fix to get better. He's going to have to do it in a hurry. They do have a couple of extra days of game prep, so that is good. But again, the passing game in general across the board has to get better. It will help. The article says here, talking about Jimmy Callaway being unavailable, but hopefully Jimmy Callaway will be good to run this coming Saturday against Pitt at noon inside of Neyland Stadium. So let's take a look at the defensive grades. And this is what I really want to talk about, is the defensive line unit, a unit that we criticized all throughout spring camp, right? Coach Rodney Garner comes in and says they are not getting it done. They are not doing things the right way. If anybody can develop talent, it's Rodney Garner. And we have seen this defensive line continue to improve. They gave this offense fits throughout fall camp. That's a good problem to have. So when you go and you look at the defensive grades, how Tennessee's defense graded coming out of Bowling Green, look who is right at the top. You got four defensive linemen right up there at the top: Elijah Simmons, Caleb Tremblay, Tyler Barron, and Matthew Butler. This defensive line is going to continue to get better week in and week out, and they are going to become a strong point for this Tim Banks defense. Rodney Garner rotated 11 guys throughout the night. So, again, it's good when you have that depth. And I know it's Bowling Green, so understand that when I'm making these comments. I'm not getting carried away. I realize it is Bowling Green. But they were able to rotate 11 guys. Caleb Tremblay met with the media yesterday and talked about that. You know, the being fresh in the fourth quarter when you've got that depth and you're able to rotate around. As a group, they had 2 sacks, 5 tackles for loss, 3 batted balls, and 3 quarterback hurries. That's another praise for this Tennessee defense. They made adjustments. Bowling Green started going quick, trying to get the ball out fast, because right out of the gate, Tennessee was living in the backfield, penetrate, especially up the middle. So Bowling Green kind of made an adjustment, started trying to get the ball out quickly. And then you saw this Tennessee defensive line try to get a push, hands went up. They had 3 batted balls. That's big. That's changing the momentum of the game. Tyler Barron also had a sack and a couple of pressures. DeJohn Terry with a sack. You know, this defensive line looked good, and not just in the passing game, but in the running game. They looked really strong in the running game, giving up just 32 yards on the ground. But as a whole, where this defensive team struggled was in the passing game. And yeah, they didn't get beat. They didn't give up a touchdown. That's something you got to praise them for. Holding Bowling Green to 2 field goals, and yes, it's Bowling Green. But their quarterback, Matt McDonald, Completed 25 of 38 for 187 yards. Again, not a touchdown given up. But they're going to face a challenge this coming Saturday in Kenny Pickett. Again, I encourage you to go back, check out the scouting report. Pitt has a really good, really experienced quarterback. And if they're going to be able to compete and win this game on Saturday, they are going to have to not only get pressure on Kenny Pickett, make him uncomfortable, they're also going to have to stay in their pass rushing lanes. They're going to have to keep him contained, keep him in the pocket. Don't let him scramble. Don't let him get loose and make you pay and get those extra cheap yards with his quarterback scrambles, because he'll run the football, but he's a really good, accurate passer. Looked really good. Again, Pitt dominated UMass on Saturday. I know it's UMass, the same as Tennessee. It was Bowling Green. It is what it is. That's why this game on Saturday is so important. Two very evenly matched teams. Going back to the comments from the Pitt head coach, let's make a difference in Neyland Stadium. Let's create that hostile environment. Let's make Kenny Pickett uncomfortable. One last thing this defense has to do. They have to do on Saturday if they're going to be able to compete with Pitt. They're going to have to force a turnover. No turnovers forced against Bowling Green. They're going to have to make something happen. They're going to have to be aggressive. I felt like they were very vanilla on defense. Didn't dial up a whole lot of pressures. So I hope we see a little bit more on Saturday. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. What did you think of the defensive line? What do you think about the grades on offense? I know a lot of people were critical of Joe Milton, and rightly so. He didn't get the job done. He didn't look great on Thursday night in the opener. But what do you think when you see those grades, when everything is broken down, running routes correctly? Joe Milton graded out better than his wide receivers. Just something worth noting. But that's going to wrap it up for this one. Make sure you guys do smash that thumbs up on the way out the door. I would greatly appreciate it. Also, we've got new merchandise, so go check that out at bonfire.com/store/talkinvols. We've still got all the basic stuff, but we added a few new things. I love the State Pride shirts, but we added this, a State Pride Talkin' Vols flat bill hat. Now available again, bonfire.com/store/talkinvols. Also added a brand new toboggan, so you can go check that out. All the other merchandise is the same. We did add a stainless steel water bottle. So we got all kinds of stuff. Any and all support is greatly appreciated. But if not, just hit that thumbs up. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. And I hope to see you tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern time, right here on the Talkin' Vols Network. But this is the Talkin' Vols Network. My name is Boogie Bentley. Go Big Orange.
The songs howl like me, poets sad and marching, soaking moonlit falls on